Is this thing on?
I can see you. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Because, last time we recorded, I was in this camera, but only this part was in the camera. So that's why I like that I can see you, because then I can tell where the camera angle is. I can't tell where the camera angle is when I can't see you. So it's imperative that, hi, Soraya, yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, they are here.
I was saying, I'm glad that I can see you, because it's hard for me to figure out if I'm even in the damn shot if you're not on, if I can't see you. So it's good that I can see you. And welcome, everyone. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm actually Anya, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader, and I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing with humor, because laughter is the best medicine. Talk to him, B.
I am B. I'm also known as Magoon. Um, Whoever, however you call me, whichever one you want to use, whichever one calls out to you, you can call me that. I'm all right. And if you know me personally, of course you got my name already. But I am just a catalyst for spirit to use as spirit pleases. And like Ashley, I'm just here to help you heal. We're here to help you heal. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to get angry because we might bring up some real touchy subjects sometimes, and it might poke the beast a little bit, but trust and believe that it's all for your healing. We are here for you all. And if you see me look, I'm looking at two cameras. So, but please know that we are here for your healing first and foremost. So, yeah,
Yes, I
welcome.
love how you said that. Like, you may laugh, you may cry, you might even get angry. This show is going to bring up a lot of different emotions, and it's going to navigate you through a lot of different energies that you might not have been ready to experience. But this is all a part of the healing process. So you grow through it. You go through it to go through it. So don't ever
Hmm.
think that what you're feeling is abnormal or ambiguous. It's all natural. So welcome, everyone. We're going to jump right into tonight's topic. And of course, I have to ask my amazing scrumdiddlyumptious co-host if he wants to jump into the cards or if he wants to jump into the conversation.
Let's
So
jump
go
into the
ahead, co-host.
conversations because I have some healing work for after the conversations. Yep.
Sounds good to me. So if everyone was able to check out tonight's topic, we are unfolding. Well, first off, this episode is very near and dear to me because I was once married, as well as my co-host. So
Hmm.
you are speaking to two people that have been married, and we are now navigating and functioning and existing outside of our marriages. And so this is not hearsay. This is not, oh, child, I heard this is how you got to do once you're a divorcee. No, we have both been married, so we know what the hell we're talking about, okay?
Right.
Let me just put that out there first and foremost. So you are getting firsthand advice from people that have been in this situation and are navigating through it. So this is why this episode is near and dear to my heart as someone who has been married, and I know firsthand how challenging the transition can be going from we to I. It's a journey of rediscovery and basically just reclaiming your identity, reclaiming who you are. When you're married, it's we. You're a couple. So going from we to I can be challenging. It can make you feel like you're having an identity crisis because sometimes your identity is tied to your partner, to your marriage, to your situation. So it can be a little bit frightening to go from we to I. So that's why we're here to help you guys navigate through there. So when you're married, your identity often becomes intertwined with your partners, like I said. And once you disconnect from that connection, it can become challenging and scared because you're not really sure where to start. You're not really sure what's the first thing you need to do. But this is why we often advocate for healing, because once you heal, a lot of things become natural and a lot of things start to make sense as to why you're going through this, as to what you need to do, and as to how you got in the situation that you got in. So let's just start there. That's why we always advocate with whatever topic that we present to you guys, how important healing is. Because once you start that process, everything is going to start making sense to you. And it's going to basically cleanse your mind of all of the clouded confusion and everything that may have made you conflicted and may have made you felt like you didn't know what to do. Once you heal, all that's going to start to make sense. So that's why we always advocate healing, 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 healing. And healing usually ties into every topic because it's a part of every topic and it relates and connects to every topic. So we know that that can be incredibly overwhelming once you have broken away from, or have come away from we, and you're now you're now an individual, and now you have to make it on your own and basically navigate through the world as an individual, not so much as a couple. But I just want to also say that your identity should never be tied to anyone. It should never be tied to, okay, well, I am who I am and I'm owning who I am because of who I married. It should never be tied to a person. You establish who you are first and foremost, and then once you get into that relationship, it just amplifies it. It just makes it more, it multiplies, because you never go into a situation saying this person's gonna make me whole. I'm gonna be whole once I connect with this person. You're already whole. A person should just add to who you are. Always. If you go into a situation saying that someone's going to make you whole, once that person leaves, what do you have left? If they made you whole, think about it. If they made you whole, what do you have left if you guys were to break up? Then what are you have? Are you nothing? How much did they take away from the relationship when they took away from you? So always go into something whole or feeling like you are whole, even if you have to fake the fun. You know how they say fake it till you make it? You go into that relationship saying, you know what, I may not feel this way, I may not look this way, but damn it, I'm going to strut. I'm going to strut my stuff until I know that I am this. And that's what a lot of people do. They fake it till they make it. So it's crucial to remember that you were an individual before you became a husband or a wife. And like I said, your identity should not be defined by your marital status. It shouldn't be defined, oh, I'm a superior because I'm now a husband. I'm superior because now I'm a wife. That should not define you. Who you are as a person, your morals, how you treat people, that should define who you are. Whose cousin is that?
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin? Okay, because I'm like, I don't recognize the name, but hey, cousin. Right, so you have your dreams, you have your passions, you have your purpose beyond who you are married to, beyond who you're in a relationship with. And divorce in many ways is a way for you to connect with yourself. It's a way for you, to connect with yourself and reconnect with yourself, because now all you have is self. And you pretty much have to deal with self because you don't have this other person that you can blame, or you can say, okay, well, they're going to take care of it. Well, they're going to do it. No, now you have to take care of home. So that's a little bit of seasoning on that. But just know that divorce is going to bring a whirlwind of emotions. It's going to bring grief. It may even bring poverty if you solely relied on your significant other for finances. So it's going to bring a multitude of emotions, anger, hell, it might even bring you relief if you were in a situation where you weren't happy. It's going to bring different emotions for different people depending on the status of the relationship and what the dynamic was with your significant other.
Yeah. And I wanted to add, I was just going to add, oh, well, one, look at the chat. You got a message back. And then,
Hey.
and then two, so the other thing I was going to add is, and for those, just like she was just talking about the different dynamics of the relationships. So if you knew that you were in a relationship with someone that was manipulating you and gaslighting you, even that plays a role, because you knew who you were both when you first entered the relationship, and you know who you are leaving. And if that person has been taking from you and making you believe things about yourself that were not true to the point that you started believing, you now have to pick up those pieces. And so you can dust them off and put yourself back together. And a part of that is facing and coming to terms with, yes, this person did this to me. Yes, this person tricked me and manipulated me. But don't go into thinking that you allowed it to happen intentionally, because then you'll start to beat yourself up instead of healing yourself.
That's right. That is very true. I'm going to build off of what you said, because we have to remember relief is a valid emotion. Even though you are divorcing and putting an end to a part of your life, relief is a valid emotion, but that doesn't make the pain hurt any less, because you are now having to cultivate a life without this other person. So even though you're relieved that it's over, you basically have to start over. So yes, relief is a positive emotion, but there can be some negative kind of like thrown in with that, because you have to start your life completely over. So, and I think it's it kind of boils down to the 5 stages of grief, and I don't know them in the correct order. You'll probably have to help me out, Bessie. But I know that, like, first accepting it, or I know acceptance is in there somewhere, but then like you kind of revert back, and then you kind of like, you know, seesaw between the two emotions. So it's really like a process. It's levels to this shit. Like sometimes you're relieved, sometimes you're like, oh my God, like what did I do? Like it's a seesaw of emotions. So never feel like you have to go in order. It's okay to be happy one day, sad one day, relieved one day, regretful, remorseful. All that is okay. It's a part of the healing process.
Yep, I can read them to you if you want.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Please.
So we had the first stage is denial. The second phase is anger. The third phase is bargaining. The fourth phase is depression, excuse me. And then the fifth stage is acceptance.
Acceptance, yeah. That's very. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've like bounced back from all 5 of those emotions. It's tough, and it doesn't come in any particular order, because like I said, you can be depressed one day and accept it the next day. It all depends on the situation. It all depends on the person. So that's that, and it's all a part of the healing process. And but I think that something that is not talked about enough is the way that friends and family can react. And this is especially if you come from a family where you're the first to get married, and it's like everyone is dependent on you and your relationship to make it
work.
You know how much pressure that puts on you just as an individual to make it work by any means necessary? That's pressure. And that's pressure even if the relationship is not healthy and it's not functioning healthy. The whole relationship can be toxic as your family is dependent on you to be the one that made it. Exactly. Even if you're not making it mentally, physically, or emotionally, you still have to make it. I don't think that's talked about. And that's one point. And then I haven't even gotten started on the whole religious aspect, because a lot of people feel that no matter what, you need to make the marriage work. I'm going to talk about that. Too, because that's another, that's a whole nother aspect aspect that I want to get into. But yes, people do not talk about that enough, that a lot of pressure lies on, what do you call it, first generation marriages. You're like the first out of your family to make it or to marry, and everyone is looking at you, even your friends who aren't in your family. If they look at you from the outside looking in and they see that you have this amazing life, this amazing husband, this amazing house, family, they're looking at you like the model person, like the picket fence, like you have it all, girl, or you have it all, like you have this great wife, like, dude, like, you know, like, why would you ever want to mess that up? Not even knowing that the outside looking in, you have no idea what he has to go through. You have no idea what she has to endure. So I don't think that's talked about enough. And that's why it's so important to know the entirety of the story, not just know what something looks like, because you really don't know what it is unless you're in the situation. So that's something.
And I wanted to add this too quickly, because as you was talking, I was thinking about even some people have the pressure of, well, my parents stayed together, I want my relationship to stay together, you know, to mirror your parents. But you also have to remember that you have your walk and your parents had their walk. So don't look at it for, like they say, you can look at it and accept it and embrace it and know that that's what type of love that you want. But also remember that your path is your path, your love is your love, because there might be something that you and your spouse do that's completely different from your parents. But if that's what works for you, do that. Don't try to mirror your parents' relationship.
Right, absolutely. And theoretically, hindsight is 2020. And now, just talking about this, looking back on my marriage, we were so young, and I didn't really know what it meant to be a wife. But now, looking back, like, I had a really good husband. Like, I had a great husband. He wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfect. We were young, but he provided when he needed to, and he protected, and he loved me. Loved me. And so that's another thing we have to remember, that as we grow older, we evolve. And so the things that we didn't know as youngsters, we learn once we're older. And that helps to give us soul growth. It helps to age our soul, but age it in a good way, because we're learning soul lessons. But I said that to say that one of my reasons for wanting to stay in the marriage was because we had children, and I wanted our children to be raised in a two-parent household. And I think that's something else that's not discussed enough, because a lot of people want things to work because of the children, because they want the children to see the parents together. They want the children to have mommy and daddy in the same household, and they want the children to be able to say, I grew up with both my parents in the household. And they want their children to carry on that tradition, so that they make sure that they have a husband or a wife and they continue on the family tradition. But you have to understand, understand, and overstand that children are very receptive. They're very smart. They catch on quick. And even my kids tell me, and me and my ex-husband, we weren't crazy arguing. We weren't like, you know, this couple that just was unbearable to be around. But my children have told me several times, you know what, I'm glad that you're happy, and I'm glad that daddy's happy, separately. So that right there just lets me know that they see that we can still co-parent separately.
Yeah.
And if you talk to your children, that have children, they'll tell you this, because children know. They're very smart. They're very receptive. We underestimate them tremendously. And they'll tell you, like, listen, like, you guys are better off not together. I love you guys in the same house. I love waking up to daddy's stinky feet, but you guys are better off in different houses. So
yeah, and with that, I was just going to say, it kind of also reminds me of, because I just recently had a conversation with someone about men who find out or realize that they really like other men at a later stage in life, but are married with children. And what does that look like? because I'm like, it's that same process. It's, do I stay here for the kids and be miserable, or do I accept my truth and allow all of us to work through our new normal? Because it's not just that one person's new normal, it's the entire families. And I said, unless he and the wife have a very serious conversation and can be open, if he feel comfortable, right? Because again, you're telling the person that you said that, until the day that we die, I'm going to be here for you, that I'm falling out of love with you because I like you're not what I'm attracted to anymore, right? Like, we have to process that whole conversation. And at the same time, recognize that if the person stays, if they decide that I'm going to continue with this marriage, but I'm going to live my truth secretly, or not live it at all, what happens in the marriage? That's when fights start to happen, and everybody's like, where did that fight come from? Or it's self-doubt in the relationship, and it's like the wife is looking at the husband like, what is going on? And it's because he can't express himself the way he needs to, because he's not able to live his truth, right? And how does that play out into what happens in the home, the fights that happen, and then the weird feelings that the kids have to watch and pick up on it? They're like, something's wrong, but we don't know what is wrong.
And a lot of his frustrations, I would say, is misguided anger, because he doesn't know how to channel and actually speak his truth. Because remember, a lot of us were told when we were younger, you know what, if you feel that way, shh.
Right. Don't say nothing.
God, not even let's talk to a therapist. Let's find out why you feel this way. Did something happen when you were young? Did you see something you weren't supposed to see? Did someone touch you in a way they weren't supposed to touch you? Or are you just naturally attracted? Like, these questions were not asked in a lot of households because we were always told,
right.
At the altar. And you know what? Taking us to the altar, that's fine and dandy, but then what? What's next? There has to be a process, because healing is a process. And this is why you have to be open and honest with yourself.
Exactly.
In order to be open and honest with someone else. It starts with you. You want to change the world? Change yourself. You can't change the world until you change yourself.
It starts with you.
It starts with you.
It starts with you.
It starts with you. Might be feeling, oh, child, that's a whole other topic. I wasn't ready for that. That's like part two. I wasn't ready for that. But yeah, so you might be feeling like that you're letting your family down or betraying your faith by choosing divorce. But the guilt and the feeling of failure can be overwhelming, but you have to always remember to stay true to yourself.
Exactly.
How long are you going to be able to upkeep living a lie? Because basically that's what you're doing. If you're unhappy, everything is going to affect that emotion and your emotions. And it's going to come out in your parenting. It's going to come out while you're at work, when you're hanging with your friends, your girls, your boys. Like, if home is not taken care of, if home is not peaceful, if home is not where the heart is, it's going to affect everything. Yeah, we had a few topics that one question alone.
Exactly.
I said Bessie is always like spinning us around, because he's so like dynamic. He's full of like all these interesting topics, so it's hard for us to stay on track. So I be having to try to bring us back, because hell, I be doing it too. I be like, what happened with so and so in 1950? Like, stay on topic. Stop. Stay on topic. But yes, so just remember that the most loving thing that you can do for your family and for your partner is to let it go if it's not working. If something is not working, LIG it, let it go. Let it go, because there is someone out there for everyone. And you have to remember, and I don't think people realize this, it's a season for everything and for everyone. And nothing is meant to last forever. And I'm going to say something that may ruffle and shuffle a few feathers, but you don't own anyone. You are here to experience. them. If you have children, you are here to guide them. You are here to lead them into their purpose. You don't own any living, breathing thing on earth. You are here to experience it, to experience them or to guide them. And when we try to have ownership of someone or something, that's when the person or thing flees, or it goes out of sight, because it feels like it's being confined and condemned and controlled. So don't ever feel like you have control, complete control over anything or anyone, because you are here to experience people and to experience things. Don't try to have control over anything. I'm just saying, Kamari, like people get the game up and think, oh, that's mine. Nobody can have that. That's mine. Okay, okay, you created that? I'm not saying you like gave birth to that. Like I'm saying like you were in the drawing room and you said that person's gonna have this many eyelashes, their DNA is gonna be this, that, and the third. Like only God did that. Only the Most High did that. So only the Most High can say what that person, like what control that person has and what that person can do. Like you don't have control over anyone. All you can do is experience them. So please remember that. So I think that was pretty much all I had. Bestie, just always remember to embrace transformation, embrace moving out of stale, stuck energy, because every living, breathing thing on Atlantis has to evolve. And everything on Atlantis, on Mother Earth, is evolving. If you're not evolving, what are you doing? Everyone was put here to evolve. And so if you ever find yourself in the same situation, in the same predicament that you were in, that you needed to get out of, it means you're not evolving. It means you're not evolving. So you have to remember to always evolve, even if that means being uncomfortable, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And so you have to, yes, hi. And so you have to change in order to get change.
Right.
So yes, so divorce is not the end of the story. It's not the end of a chapter. It's just a comma, not a period. Life still goes on. And just remember that it's up to you to decide if you're going to continue on to live or if you're just going to exist. Because people are just existing. You want to live. Don't just exist, live.
Right.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, and I will add this because I want people to understand the process of healing, right? We already talked about the 5 stages of grief and going through healing, right? But I had to share, I'll share my, as we say in church, my testimony real quick, right? So when I got married, it was fun, right? It was new. It was a newness, but it turned sour because of internal issues from both of us, right? But mainly from my spouse at the time, and not wanting or refusing to heal, which is why I always promote healing yourself, which is why we talk about on this platform healing, because you need it. Whether or not you know it, you need to heal from something, right? And so, but I don't want to put the focus on that. My main focus is that at the time of, actually right before divorcing, it was right before COVID. So when COVID hit, I lost 2 friends and 3 people in my family during 2020, while we're trying to work things out, while we're going to couples counseling, and only one of us was doing the work at the time, right? That's hurtful when you can see your ship going down and there's nothing you can do to save it. That there's that feeling of being overwhelmed and that feeling of fighting. Then a few months later, as we start the process of divorce, like literally a few weeks later, my dad passed away. A few months, a cousin passed away. Um, at another cousin's wedding, my aunt passed away. And I was just like, how can, like, what's going on? And I'm still dealing with the divorce. I'm still dealing with the fact that, like you said earlier, it went from we to me, you know, then dealing with different ones. Then immediately following that next year, my sister passed away. So it's like I'm having to juggle all these emotions, right? But thankfully, while we were having the fussing and the fighting before we got to the divorce, I intentionally started going within and started healing. I was like, I can't carry this. It got to the point with me where I had friends who thought I was going to go to jail. They thought for sure Brian's going to end up on the first 48. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah.
Right. You about to be on the first 48. And I will say this, at the end of the year of 2021, the same year that my father passed away and the same year that everything was put into place, right? That's when I had my spiritual awakening. So whenever you're going through something that dramatic, that powerful, also think about where are you spiritually and how did it push you spiritually? Where are you now that you weren't a few years ago with that person? How did that person push you to your moment? Because basically the universe said that this marriage is your tower moment. This relationship is your moment where I gotta now shake you up a little bit so you can see your value, so you can see what's inside of you. And when you put yourself back together, you're gonna realize how much more stronger you are than you thought you were before. And that is the space that I'm in now. Because looking back, I'm just like, wow, I really been through some stuff. I have been, and I'm in my right mind. Because there are some people, and let's be real, there are some people who after a marriage breakup, they lose it.
Go crazy.
They go crazy. Like there was a lady when I was a kid, all my life, I knew her as Miss Mary, who wore the black dress. And it was a black, like, um, it's like an old school dress, black dress with ruffles, with black thick stockings and matted hair. And I was like, what happened? And they said her husband left her for someone else and it broke her.
Went crazy.
And she was a nurse. They said that she used to be loving and kind, and but you could never tell because now she lived on the street. She wore black she literally wore the same outfit every day.
Oh my gosh.
Literally. Every time I saw her, the same outfit, all black. She was mourning, she was grieving, and did not process that pain to heal herself. Yeah. And so that's why when we exactly. And that's why I say like it's more to just getting out of a relationship and just I'm gonna do me. Okay, well while you're doing you, are you healing you? Because if you don't heal you, again, you're gonna take that same stuff to this new relationship. And what happened in their old relationship, you're gonna bring it up in this new relationship, and the new person's gonna be like, well, what's going on? Because this is new if this is a new thing, why are we having problems that aren't problems? Like, everything is questioned. And it's because you haven't fully processed these things. And so that was one of the things that during my healing process, I realized that there were some things how spirit was taking me. And I was just like, because when my dad passed away, I wanted to throw everything up and tell, like, hold on, I need a few months but I kept getting the message to keep going, to keep pushing through. Yep.
Okay.
So, but now I want to get into the cards. I do, because I already pulled them, because I asked Spirit to give me a collective message for those who need to find that closure, for those who need to find that healing. What is it about that marriage, or that, and I'll even extend it to that relationship, where it left you lost, where it left you with so many questions that you can't move on? Because if you can't move on, that means you're stuck in a hurtful place. And immediately, the first card that came out was the Wheel of Fortune. It was your destiny, it was your purpose to go through a dark time to get to your light time. And then the Three of Wands came out in reverse, because after your world came crashing down, you said, I don't want anything else. I don't want to move forward. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to look at it from the other side of the wall. And it's like you looking at everybody else, you looking at the world go around, and it's like, I I don't want to see it coming. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just gonna sit here. And while you were sitting here, Queen of Cups, for some of you, you were healing. You were actually doing the work and was healing. So some of you are in a different space today. But I've also heard that for some of you, uh, the Queen of Cups came out because you were so emotional that you allowed your emotions to make the decisions for you. Meaning you wasn't thinking clearly. So if you was angry that day, and you said stuff and didn't care who it affected. Um, oh, I like that. You were doing you, Bar. You healing. Yep. But and then also with those emotions, if you were depressed, it's like you would shut yourself off from the world. And when people were trying to reach you, of course you're not going to respond immediately, right? But when you got better and people brought it up to you, it's almost like you got defensive, because now you're just like, what? Head up, I'm grown. I don't need nobody checking on me. It's like that whole energy, and it's like, no, these are people that love you, that wanted to see you do well. And what was happening is, you got the High Priestess in reverse. What you was doing was stunting your own growth. The High Priestess is somebody who is well balanced in all areas of her life. And so for some of you, your career started going into shambles, and you were trying to figure out why. And it was also because you didn't realize how much your emotions was playing against you. I'm hearing finances and your material things. You started to lose that, all because that same space, it was all feeding off that negative energy. And when things feed off of negative energy, there's no positive flow. Any words of affirmation is not getting through. It's like it's hitting a brick wall. It's not going through. And then I had put the cards up, and then looked down, and two more cards had fallen out the deck. The Seven of Pentacles. So you're starting over. And it's like, okay, now I want to do new things. I want a new love. But the Two of Wands came in reverse. You want new things in your life, but there's some of you are literally held back because you're not making the decision that you know you need and have to make. So that lets me know that some of you are still holding on to old relationships. Stop looking through your photo record if it triggers you that much. You know that teddy bear that you can't get rid of because y'all went to the fair, and that was when y'all had the best time of your life. But if every time you look at that teddy bear, and after you have that good pleasant thought, you start to go low and start feeling depressed, you have to get rid of little Pookie. You have to get rid of it. If it's an animal, and I know we love our animals, if it constantly reminds you, let that person have that animal if they want it, or give it to somebody else you know will take care of it. Because what you're doing is you're harboring over, yeah, huh?
What we call that, bestie, that's grieving with gratitude.
Right,
So we're letting something go so that we can grieve with gratitude.
exactly. And again, what's the saying? You can't get a blessing if your hand is full. You can't get something new if your hand is full. If my hand is with this cup, and then I say I want a fresh cup of coffee, well, sir, you still have your old cup in your hand. No, I want to keep my cup, but I want to get new coffee. And it's like, how? It's impossible. It is impossible. And so the rest of the time, I mean, I wanted to kind of take a few questions, even a few people who has a question about something. I want to do that for you all tonight. Oh,
Yes, we did that last week too, and that turned out awesome. We had a lot of people that were on, that were interacting. So anyone who wants to come on with anything pertaining to the topic at hand, or if you just have a question about anything, please shoot your shot. And I just want to say this while we're waiting for people to come in with their questions. Please do not diminish your mission because of your circumstances. A lot of times we will allow what we're going through to detour us off of our purpose, off of our soul's purpose. Don't allow your circumstances to diminish what you need to do, what you were put on earth to do. Because it's so easy to allow your circumstances to become your life. And it's not your life. It's not the entire book. It's a chapter. Work through it. Go through it and grow through it.
yeah.
So if anybody has questions, please don't be shy. Drop it in the comments. And just be careful with your words, people. What you confess, you manifest. Things that you say out of your mouth, what you confess, will manifest. So if you tell yourself, "Hey, no good men left, men ain't SHIT," there's not going to be any good men coming into your life. We talked about this last week. Make yourself a list, what you want in a potential partner, and keep adding to that list. And once you meet someone that fits that criteria, then you're able to say, "Hey, listen, you got everything on this list. You have the majority of the things that I put on this list. Let's talk. Let's rap." It's not impossible. Anybody who tells you it's impossible to meet someone that you have manifested, that you have prayed about, is a Debbie Downer.
Exactly.
Don't listen to the nation. That means they've never manifested. Anything that you want, you can have. Period. Like they say in Baltimore. Anything you want, you can have. Period. Okay? Don't listen to the naysayers. Do we have any questions?
But
Anybody? Because
oh, I was just gonna say another card. I was gonna use. I was pulling from this deck, and this card came out, and Spirit said, "Address those who became a we to an I based off of death. Your loved one is still around you. Your loved one is still around you, and they want you. They are giving you your blessing to move on, because there's some people that will hold themselves back, like, no, I can't see myself marrying anybody else. And your person is like, but no, because if I was still there, you would still be receiving love. And if someone wants to show it's almost like they're saying, if someone wants to show my baby some love, my God, embrace that love, take that love, because I'm no longer there to give it to you physically. So I will encourage and send somebody your way because I know what you need from the other side. Um, so I did want to share that as well.
No, thank you for sharing that. And you guys have to be willing. You have to be willing and ready to lose beliefs, behaviors, and possessions behind relationships. You have to be willing to lose beliefs, certain behaviors, and
Mm-hmm.
possessions behind your relationships. And you have to understand, overstand, and understand that it's not a loss. At the end of the day, your peace of mind is not a loss. Yes, you lost that car, you lost that house, you lost that friendship, you lost that relationship, but you have to be willing to lose those things in order to gain peace of mind, which is priceless. Nobody can put a number on peace of mind. Peace of mind is priceless. I don't care if I lose that car. I don't care if I lose that house. I ain't trying to lose my mind. Once I lose that, it's over. So like come on with the whole, like holding on to certain beliefs and holding on to certain possessions and holding on to certain thought processes that are outdated. This ain't the 50s, all right?
Exactly.
This ain't the 50s. A lot of our grandparents were staying together because their parents stayed together and because their parents stayed together. This generation, we're in the age of Aquarius. This is the age of knowing. We're breaking generational curses, okay? We're not staying together just to say we stayed together, okay? We're healing, and if we're not, then we're getting the gone.
Exactly.
We're getting gone, okay?
And
I always say that.
and
This ain't the 50s.
it's funny that you said that because this card, I pulled more cards. This card says celebration, and it's like when you move on, you will start to see how you need to celebrate because of wisdom, because of how much wisdom you have gained about yourself. Again, if you didn't know about yourself, you know about yourself now, right? You know what you like, you know what you dislike now. You know what works for you in a relationship. You know which boundaries don't need to be crossed in a relationship. You know, um, let's be honest. Even when it comes to sex, you know what turns you on. You know what's that thing to get you riled up now, right? And what you're ultimately doing is you're finding your freedom. You can finally find, you see your freedom. Oh, I'm sorry, I just got like this huge download as I was about to speak. It's like you see your freedom now based off of everything that you went through. It's like you can appreciate your freedom now. It's like if spirit had given you some of these things without you going through that, it's like you won't be as appreciative of it as you would now. And then community. Get out amongst your community. Let your community love on you. Let them pour on you. And ironically, right before I went to sleep last night, I was watching The Women's of Brewster Place, and that's one of my favorite movies. Like,
Oh, I love that movie, honey.
okay, like, and I'm saying since I was a little kid.
The movie is nothing but book. Get the book.
Okay, I do have to get, and you know what? Somebody else did tell me that, but the movie is just like, yes, and it's like once you get into your community and you allow them to pour into you, especially no matter what type of separation it is, right? If you have that good tribe of people, if you have good people around you, you allow them to pour into you and you receive it because again, you're going to get wisdom. You're going to see who's for you, who's not for you, who said that they were in your corner. I mean, I'm sorry, I just saw a whole scandal, and I'm sure this has happened to a few people. You're going to find out if your best friend was really your best friend. Because why would your best friend be now married to your ex husband? Make it make sense. Let's do the math. It's because like it's like you become so much enlightened on things that you start to look back, and now you can spot the red flags or the caution flags that were shown to you that you ignored. But in your new space, in your new life, uh, if and when you get into another relationship, you will know be able to pinpoint out those caution signs and those red flags now, whereas before you couldn't.
Yes, because now spirit has got all the distractions completely out of the way. And this is why you have to make sure that you're not giving your energy to ideologies that no longer serve you. Don't give your energy to ideologies that no longer serve you. Believe what you want to believe. Completely indoctrinate yourself from whatever you were brought up to believe, because at this point, at this very moment, is what you believe and what you know to be true and best for your family. It's okay to take certain things from your childhood and carry it over into your family, into your relationship, into your culture, but at the end of the day, it's about what you think is best, because you know what your family needs.
Exactly.
That's why we are breaking free from certain patterns, traumatic trauma responses. We're breaking free from those things because they have been passed on generation to generation, and we are now breaking free from them. Our ancestors didn't. Some of them broke free from them, but the majority of them just pretty much just
dealt with it.
We're told.
Right.
They dealt with it and told because they didn't want to have too much pushback. But this generation right here is rebellious. We are some rebellious mofos. And this is why, like, the revolution will not be televised. Okay? Because we are not going to stand for this. And we shouldn't. This generation, we're healing. We're healing.
Right. It's like, baby, okay, now you may have gone through that, and great auntie may have gone through that, but you know what? That's why it's great, because it's in the past. We're not great. Right. We're gonna be better. Okay. It's like we're not, right. And it's I often think about the stories that my mother tell me about our family and things that happened when she was a little girl, and how my grandmother responded, how my grandfather responded. And then I look and I'm like, that's why I have the voice that I have, because it's like, no, I'm not going to allow you to treat me like you treated them. And that's why I always, okay, now I'm about to go a little bit into Black history a little bit, but stay with me. That's why I always say it's important to recognize that slavery was not that long ago. So any type of narrative that try to keep you in bondage or try to hold you back, we have to realize as a people that it wasn't that long ago. My great grandfather, meaning I'm only 3 generations away, was born the year that slaves were freed. He was 9 months when that decree came out. No, not 9 months, 6 months. 6 months when that decree came out. So his parents, my great great grandparents, were slaves. We're not that far removed from slavery. And I'm bringing that up because when you get freed for something, you don't want to allow anything else to put you into that much bondage. So you fight tooth and nail. And the only way to combat it is if you use the wisdom that you gained and you change yourself.
That's right. Strength, courage, and wisdom. You know what's worse than physical bondage? Mental bondage.
Yes.
That's hit hard.
That's
to
that.
Get out of that.
That's that Five of Pentacles energy. Let me show. I'm gonna show y'all that card for this deck. That baby, the first time I got this deck and I went through my cards and I saw that, I said, you know what? That is self-explanatory. It's like you were literally sitting there with the key, saying, "Oh, I wish somebody would let me out the door. Oh, I wish somebody would come in and save me. Oh, I wish that this would happen. Oh, I wish that that would happen. And it's like, don't you realize that you have a key right there at the door? All you have to do is look up, pick it up, and use it. And 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 it's like Spirit is saying you have all the tools within you. That's why I say you got to go within when you're going through those type of things. Because when you go
Yeah.
within, you're pulling out the tools that you were already birthed with.
Mm-hmm.
Your natural instincts for you to help you get out of that situation.
Facts.
And
You always have a choice. That's
if you're just joining, we did call for if anybody wants a reading about a relationship that they went through that they didn't get full closure on, or they need that miss, it's like a missing piece or a missing link to why you and that person didn't work. If you want that, we're on for a few more minutes. So just want to say that to allow someone to ask their question.
And that's
But
why
yeah.
I said, Bestie, that's why it's so important to practice detachment, because it's so easy for something to literally consume you and affect you in ways that just trickle down and start affecting your job, your parenting, just who you are as a person, a friend, like you as a daughter. It's so easy for you to allow your circumstances to just completely run haywire and just take over your life. So, guys, be willing to let go. Be willing to say, you know what, my piece is way more important than that Porsche. Oh, I don't like saying that, but at the end of the day, it is. It is. It's way more important than that car and that house, that mansion. But I'm telling you, peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah.
Peace of mind is priceless.
So we have one person. Yeah, we have one person that would like a reading. Is there anything in particular that you would like to know? If so, just drop a word, a single word. If it's a single word, if you need to use more, you can. But just drop a single word. Although two of the cards have already come out.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read these that's coming out as the pre-shuffled loved ones. Okay.
You said
Okay. So yeah, I would say in the pre-shuffle, because I was just shuffling them. The King of Swords and the King of Cups came out, which means it's like that energy of hot and cold, really. And then we have the Four of Pentacles of saving, holding back, um, of holding back. So I do want to say that that's what's here. That's what I'm seeing instantly. Hot and cold and holding back. Okay. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, revealed to her as her question about loved ones as it pertains to what she needs to know. Also, I don't know if you how when you were able to come in, but make sure you read or make sure you watch the beginning, because you have two of the cards that was in the general reading. Okay, so even in this hot and cold energy and holding back, um, what I'm seeing is that you're like, I'm deciding to let it go. Is what I'm getting. It's like, yeah, I in order to protect my peace, in order to protect my happiness, I have to let it go and just. I, it's that energy of, it's not really defeat, but it's that energy of recognizing that you are in this space of, you can't fix it and you can't handle, like, you, it's not your responsibility to fix it. So right now you're in this waiting energy. You're waiting for something new to come in, right? And it's almost like you're questioning, why is this happening? It's a judgment that's happening. That's why. This is it. It's almost like it's a court ordered ordeal from the spiritual side. It's like these things are happening for a reason. I'm gonna get some more clarity cards for sure. Actually, let me use these cards. We have depression and burning evidence, and hater. Um, Promiscuous, sleeps around, hot, free for all, sleeps with your man. It's giving me that energy of, it's like you're depressed. Like it's a judgment that's happening, but it's like until now is when you're finding out that this is a judgment call, basically. Because it's like you saw things, and then the person say, oh well, no, you didn't really see them, and then it's like they get rid of the evidence. So say like, if it's, you know how like when some women, when they catch their husband cheating, they'll look at the collar and be like, oh, you got lipstick on your shirt. So he'll go out and buy the same shirt and get rid of that one and say, no, like, I don't know what you saw, but this is that shirt. And you're like, now I know that lipstick stain was stained on that collar. I know, I'm not crazy. It's that energy. Um, and I'm getting hater here, but it's more like that's your energy. It's like you're becoming, it's like the person is making you become a hater because they're going off bragging about things, saying like this is what's happening. It's almost like that person that brags about their riches and stuff. And it's like you're it's almost like they're rallying you up to hate them, right? It's that sabotaging energy, and they're doing that so that it can put distance and space between you two. Because then the next card is promiscuous. Is this a person that sleeps around, or and then here at the bottom it says sleeps around, a hot free for all, sleeps with your man, that energy, watching shit go down, enjoying the gossip. So it's like people that's around you, it's like they may even know what's going on, and they're gossiping about it and watching the cards fall. And it's like it's that energy of, and it's sort of what we were talking about earlier, Ash, about making sure those who's around you. Are those your real friends? Are they really as close to you as they appear to be? Because if they're watching the whole thing go down play by play, why isn't it that they're telling you to watch out? Something's wrong. You need to ask questions. And it's like they've known for weeks, months. I'm hearing, and you're just now finding out stuff, and it's like she just now finding out. That's a sinister move right there. See, in their fields, and look what's right there, a condom. Because they're jealous of what you have. And when and it's that energy of, and I know that we just talked about what our grandparents would do, but I get this sense it's almost like they know you are one of like a traditionalist is what I'm picking up. It's like you don't mind. It's like you know we have our ups and downs and we can get through this, right? But it's also the energy of, well, we're not going to tell because she's a traditionalist. She loves drama. She likes this type of thing. That's how she thrived. And it's actually not. Um, they have this picture that you will accept any and everything, but you know that you're not. And because they're jealous, they don't mind you having to go through this drama. Yep. See? Literally just jumped on my hand, getting played, manipulation, lies, control. It's a lot of people that's doing that. What is your suggestion, Spirit? Oh, wow. Okay. A lot of cards flipped out. From the original deck, the two of wands flipped out again, lets me know that there's a decision that you're going to have to make. It's going to be hard, but it's like you got to make it, because we have the judgment card, page of wands, meaning you're going to get a message coming in, which is going to give you some more information to think about concerning your four of wands. And the last card that came, or that's behind this side of the deck, is the devil, meaning it's playing with your mind, it's playing with your emotions, it's playing, it's like if we can keep her on a string, we can make her dance in circles and she don't know what's going on. But then we also have the seven of wands. But I'm hearing out of this seven of wands, it's like I'm hearing liberation. You're being, I mean, of course you're protected, right? But I'm also hearing liberation, because they don't realize how free you are. And then eight of wands, movement. You're protected and you're able to move on quickly because you're going to get justice. All these people that's doing stuff, they're going to get justice. They're gonna get their justice over you for messing with you. And then you have the magician card because you are manifesting something new. Bottom of the deck, two of pentacles. So it's all based off of decisions. When you make this decision, I'm hearing you'll get better options. You'll get a lot of new things coming towards you. So watch out for those that's around you. When you get around somebody and it's like this sly feeling, like I don't know, my sis acting real weird right now and I don't know why. You picking it up right. You're picking it up right. Hope that helped you.
Tap into the clairvoyance. It'll never stay warm. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for being so brave for coming into the platform and asking your question. We always encourage you guys to. She said thank you, baby.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. And we'll do this at the end of every show. We'll take one, maybe two if we have time. We just took one tonight after every show because it's looking like it's helping you guys. It's helping you guys transition and transform. So we'll start to incorporate this after every podcast. So thank you guys for coming on. We appreciate, love, and value every single one of you guys. And we do this for you. This is healing for us, but we're earth angels, we're seers, we're chosen ones. So we're here to do our soul's mission, which is to heal. raise the vibrations of humanity. How do we do that? Love Anye.
Okay.
Love Anye.
And
And
Healing Room Tarot.
this is
Exactly.
how we do it. So thank you guys for joining us for yet another, for episode 28 of Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. You guys know every Tuesday, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time, you can find us here. You can also find Magoon over at his channel and also on YouTube under the handler
Healing Room Tarot.
Healing Room Tarot. I always get the words twisted. My dyslexia with me. Get with me, my dyslexia. So yes. So guys, once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
11:11 Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We'll see you next week.
Yes. Peace. And thank you all for joining in as well.